Hello, everyone. My name is Seth, and today I'm going to give you my review of Episode 5 of Ahsoka. Episode 5 is here, and we all kind of had our ideas. We kind of had our thoughts that this was going to be a big episode. This is the one that they said that they were going to have a limited release in theaters. And let me tell you, it absolutely deserves it. But before I go any farther, go ahead and like this video, hit subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. And if you don't know how I do these episode reviews, I'm going to assume that you've already watched the episode, so this will almost kind of be just like a conversation between friends who've watched the episode together. Let me jump right into this by saying this is probably my favorite episode of Ahsoka so far. There is a chance that this might be my favorite episode of Star Wars TV, at least the live action stuff. This was so well done. This was an absolutely fantastic way to start the second half of this season. And there's multiple moments in this episode that will be living rent-free right up in here pretty much till the end of time. This episode was directed by Dave Filoni, and he crushed it. I mean, this episode really moved the plot along as well as move forward Ahsoka's character development. And at the end of this, we start to get our version of Ahsoka the White, kind of like Gandalf. Dave Filoni is very much so inspired by Gandalf and by Tolkien, and you can definitely see some of that here. And after her experience in this episode, in the World Between Worlds, we are finally starting to get to see more of the Ahsoka personality that we know and love. All of the kind of stoic behavior, things like that, there's a reason for it. I was having a discussion with a friend today. He was saying, that's not Ahsoka. That's kind of weird. He hasn't watched the show yet. And then after this episode, I explained, there's a reason for that. They are getting to that. And I think that's done really well. Rosario Dawson was really good in this. She gave such a depth to her performance here, and it was really enjoyable. Also want to give a shout out to Ariana Greenblatt, who played the young version of Ahsoka. She did a fantastic job as well, really kind of melding the two versions, like a past version, also while seeing it through the eyes of an adult Ahsoka. But we see here why she's kind of been the way she's been. She's been struggling. She's been struggling with her identity as a Jedi. And she was brought up in the Clone Wars. She was basically, from her point of view, taught just how to survive, how to basically be a weapon. And I think she harbors a little bit of resentment too towards Anakin, maybe a little bit. She doesn't want any of his darkness to be a part of her. But I think by the end of this, she ends up having some forgiveness towards Anakin. And I also think she kind of has a similar realization that Luke gets from Yoda in The Last Jedi, where Yoda says, we are what they grow beyond, kind of meaning you're not just what you've learned from your master. She's not just a weapon. She can choose to be more. She can choose different aspects of a Jedi, and she can basically choose the way that she decides to be a Jedi. And that whole character arc was amazing. I really enjoyed it. As far as how she got to the World Between Worlds, it kind of seems like she was just kind of transported there, maybe as she was dying, kind of like on the verge of death. And just kind of with her connection to the Force and some of her experiences in her life, I buy that. I feel like it works for her character. And I'll also say, I do think that that was Anakin's spirit, who really was there, really was teaching her. And speaking of Anakin, I absolutely loved how he was used here in this episode. He was used the perfect amount to where every time he was on screen, it made an impact. And this was just great. I mean, Hayden Christensen was awesome. He was really good. It was so good to see him back in this role in a larger capacity, even than when he was in Obi-Wan. I believe I saw an interview where he has said that he has watched the Clone Wars TV show. This was a really great performance, and you absolutely see the shades of Matt Lanter's version of Anakin, which really helps kind of flesh out the character as a whole. And he did such a good job performing that here. I love the duel they have here. If you haven't seen my video from a little bit ago, I did a video ranking a bunch of the different lightsaber duels throughout Star Wars. Well, this one will probably rank up really high toward the top because this is everything that I want in a lightsaber duel. There's really great choreography, but the thing that matters the most to me really is the emotion. And there's a lot of really good, strong emotion here in this duel. Gotta say, I love the Clone Wars armor and the flashbacks for Anakin. The hair, the armor is just perfect. And I love the use of the flashbacks. I think they worked really well, both with that battle on Ryloth and the Siege of Mandalore. I think both of them worked really well. It was really cool that we got to see Captain Rex. The cinematography in this was so well done. I absolutely love that shot of Anakin walking off into the battle, having the flashes, seeing Darth Vader's silhouette and the lightsaber flashing back to Anakin. And even there, as they're transitioning into the World Between Worlds from the Siege of Mandalore flashback, you get kind of the flash of Darth Vader. Like, it's just so cool. Those are a couple moments, like I said earlier, those are going to live rent-free up in here. Like, I love that. This might be some of the wildest live-action Star Wars we've gotten, you know, just with the Clone Wars flashbacks and the War Between Worlds and the Per Guild there at the end. Like, there's a lot of animation aspects that I believe that they translated so well here. I'm really interested to see how somebody who's never seen any of the animation, how they react to this episode. I think it'll still have the impact, but I really want to know. So if you have not seen any of the animation and you watch this episode, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of it. I would love to hear your thoughts. And I love that moment that really led to them finding Ahsoka, where Jason is hearing the duel from the World Between Worlds through the Force. And then Hera just kind of stops, takes a moment, listens to her son, and she actually hears it too. I think that is so cool, and I think that really reinforces the idea that they've started to try to reintroduce here, which is that the Force is within everybody. Literally, the only negative I can think of in this episode is that maybe Dave Filoni lingers on some shots a little bit too long. That's happened before in some of the other episodes he's directed. It's not a huge deal, but that's just something that I noticed. We end this episode with Ahsoka connecting with the Purrgil. She's making connections through the Force, which is something that she honestly tried to avoid over the last little bit. And she's not afraid of making the connection anymore. She's moving forward both emotionally and physically as she travels with the Purrgil to the new galaxy. And I'm so excited to see what they do with the rest of the story. I'm excited to see the growth continue for Ahsoka and how her interacting with Sabine and then eventually like Thrawn or Baylan and Ezra. I'm really interested to see how all of that comes together. But this was an incredible episode of Star Wars TV. This is some of the best just pure Star Wars stuff we've gotten in a while. But this is just so fun. Just good Star Wars like this. There's nothing like it. But that's it. That's my review of episode 5 of Ahsoka. Let me know what you thought of this episode down in the comments section below, especially if you are somebody who has not seen any of the animation. I would love to hear your thoughts. We're getting closer and closer to 100 subscribers. So if you have not yet, please consider subscribing. It's free. It does not cost you anything, and it makes my day. So please hit the like button, hit subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. Follow me on social media, pretty much anywhere, @CinemaSeth, and I'll see you next time.